Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
Delhi, after choosing to bat in Ahmedabad, were doddering at 23 for 5. I like that word, doddering. But what a recovery. At the end, with Ripple Patel, with Aman Khan, with Akshar Patel, that's their 6, 7, 8, have managed to take the score up to 131. That's right. After 23 for 5, you have to give all-round pats on the back to the both Patels. But the biggest pat on the back to Aman Khan, because his 51 of 44 is just kind of bucked the trend, right? It almost looks like he was batting on another surface, on another planet, for another team, against another team. He's just stood out completely. And Delhi has managed to get to just a little bit of respectability, though on the Ahmedabad pitch, which regularly gets around 180, 200, that might be too less. But anyway, this is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Joy Bhattacharjya and Michael Vaughan. First up, amen to Aman. Well done, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a game yesterday where a similar score was defended, so you just never know. But you have to say that the batting of Aman was excellent to come under that amount of pressure. What was it at the end of the power? 28 for 5.
Yeah.
So you're thinking maybe 50 or 60 all out, but he just hung in there, played sensibly. He couldn't take too many risks early in his innings because he just had to hang around. And to score his first 50 off 44 balls against that attack's the best in the IPL without any question. It's a serious bowling attack. He'll do whatever the result, he'll do his confidence going forward a huge amount of good.
When they were 23 for 5, Joy, if you had told anybody they'd get to 131, people would think you're drunk. And actually, strangely, you're not drunk today, for a change.
Thank you so much. As a recovering alcoholic, it makes me feel so
Just
good.
clarifying. But they will take this, right? I mean, I know that it's still not perhaps a match-winning total against an informed Gujarat side on this
No,
pitch.
absolutely. And in fact, if you think about it, Gujarat perhaps didn't do what they do very successfully, which is close out teams. They allowed that window of opportunity, and these guys just kept playing. They didn't take wickets. That pressure, that foot on the throat and keep it there, I think Gujarat just let off the pressure a bit.
Yeah.
But take a bit of credit. How does Aman Hakim Khan, very interesting story. How is he in Delhi? He's a trade. He was last year in Kolkata. He's a very close friend of Shreyas Iyer.
Yeah.
They brought on the Praveen Amre. They coach out there. He doesn't play first-class cricket, but plays a bit of, the list A cricket. But here's the thing. He's playing here because he's been traded for Shardul Thakur. So Aman is here. Shardul goes from Delhi to Calcutta, and Aman comes this side. And I think Praveen Amre always rates him, and today perhaps I think he's finally done it, that rating some justice.
Yeah, because he's been coming in as impact player a lot of times, and people have been asking questions in terms of, well, there's more accomplished names there, perhaps names you've heard a lot more of on the domestic circuit. But today he really showed that he's made a good stuff, and that partnership with Akshar Patel has given Delhi some respectability over here and something to fight for, because 80 or 90 double-digit score is not worth fighting for, even for the bowlers.
No, and sometimes chasing a score that's a little bit lower than expected, it makes you think a bit more.
Yeah.
When you're chasing 180, 200, you have one school of thought, and that's to whack it. And get out of the trap, score at tens. When you're on a chasing just over 130, it's subconsciously in your mind, you might say to yourself, I don't have to go after the power play.
Yeah.
We don't have to get to 60. We might just be able to play, and all of a sudden you get into a negative state of mind. You get a couple of wickets against you, and all of a sudden the pressure builds. So sometimes these kind of targets, they're going to have to bowl incredibly well and catch, and probably a couple of run-outs, and they'll probably catch you flying one-handers, and everything's going to have to go their way. But, sometimes chasing, I've seen it a lot in cricket, as we all have, that when you're chasing a lowish total, batters sometimes have to think that little bit more.
It's a risky business. And I'll tell you one thing. If you lose 3-4 wickets in the power play while chasing, you don't get to 130 then, right? Yeah. You do it on the back of 250-run partnerships, by the way, that Aman was involved in, one with Akshar Patel and one with Ripple Patel. So obviously he's in Ahmedabad, partnering with the Patels makes sense. Always lucrative. Good job, buddy. Well done, Aman.
Well played.
Yeah, but let's talk about Mohammad Shami for just a second, or maybe a little more than a second. Because he has, and I'll say this again, just in case you feel you're drunk when you hear these figures, because you might, he's bowled his 4 overs for 11 runs, 19 dot balls, and 4 wickets. Is that correct? I remember it correct? Yeah, I think I have. Just look at this. It's nuts.
Well, it's the best performance with the ball in hand in this year's IPL, and you could argue for quite a few IPLs. Joy will tell me more about spells of the past, but he bowled against Mumbai. It's very similar without the success of getting the 4 wickets, but it was a very similar kind of spell, and it just didn't go his way. Where those outside edges were found today, he is tremendous. It's his pace. We spoke about in pre-match how he gets that extra pace off the surface, but the movement that he gets, just subtle movements, very, away in, brilliant bowler. Yeah, it's the best bowling spell of the IPL this year, and if you can tell me a better opening spell over the last few years, I don't remember it. So can you remind me of another one that beats that?
There was one power play that him and Hardik bowled, 3 overs each, where they were getting some swing and there was some catches and stuff. Again, a test match kind of thing. But again, it's him. It's still starring him. But this, that's just super.
No. Economy rate of 2.75 gets hit for 1-4 in the final over when the ball just stops moving a little bit. But absolutely amazing. And here, you also make the case that if you bowl like that, it's so useful to have a top-class wicket-keeper in the team.
Yeah.
That second catch, absolutely fantastic.
That was fantastic. And they had, as we said in the com box, Saha and Shami were a more lucrative duo today than even Simon and Garfunkel.
I will say, you go ahead to the Test Championship final, Shami can win India that trophy. Ooh. If he bowls like that at the Oval, there will be movement. We're in England, it's a duke ball. I'm pretty sure they will use the duke ball. It's in England. If he bowls like that, he could knock over any top order in the world. With his opening spell in any, we've seen it tonight in T20 cricket, he gets 4. If he bowls a spell like that at the top of the innings for India, he can knock over any top order in world cricket. You can't face that bowling when he's on form.
You should go back and watch our opening show. You would think that we're talking about Shami after watching this performance. So it's not like we preempted it. It's just really obvious because these kind of performances will come. His purple cap is on his head. Don't know if he's going to let it go easy. He's at 17 wickets now, and he's probably going to keep that. It's just because he's been on that song ever since his comeback to white ball cricket. He's just been operating on a different level.
Again, to repeat ourselves, he just has reinvented himself by saying, what do I do really well? I swing the ball well at pace against both right-handers and left-handers up front, and I'm very successful doing that. And he's just honed that to his art.
Yeah. He was just fantastic today. He really was. So have a look at the rest of the bowlers as well, because they will look at this. Gujarat will look at it. And you may think that, what is GK saying? Is he drunk? Nobody's drunk, man. Relax, everybody. But how did they let them get away to 131 after that opening spell by Shami? And that's something perhaps they will introspect a little, because everybody got a little expensive from time to time. Maybe get the foot off the gas in one of the overs, but still not ended badly. And, this bowling analysis will not tell you that Hardik bowled the 1 over, figured doesn't need to stress his body more than that. And that's a good call, because he had Mohit Sharma bowled his 4, Noor bowled his 4, Rashid bowled his 4, and Joshua Little bowled his 3. I mean, when you have Mohammad Shami there, it's tough to look beyond him to anybody else. But perhaps if they were to be harsh on themselves, and all champion teams are, even when they have a good day, they'd probably say there's no way they should have got to 131.
I agree with you. They should. And actually, if you win, good IPL teams, the really heated discussions are after wins.
Yeah.
Because then players are prepared to take constructive criticism. You've won a game. So by and large, when you lose a match, coaches and players will not talk about it at that point in time because there's no sense. You're just going to go back.
Yeah.
But when you win, you turn around and say, okay, guys, we won, but look at all these things that we did.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have allowed them to get to 150.
Yeah, I just wonder if Hardik could just have a look at his I thought he just spread the field a bit too soon.
Yeah.
That partnership of Amir Khan and Axel Patel, there's too many gaps. And they weren't taking risks.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you've got a team, you've gone by the throat really, you're 28 for 5, you've almost got to encourage, because you know what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and see out a few balls and just hang in there. You've got to almost say to them, go on, try and take the big risk. Try and take the risks, and by doing so, you might offer us another opportunity, because the ball stopped doing it. You're looking at those bowling figures. Mohammad Shami is a ridiculous standout.
Yeah.
The rest of them, Noor Ahmed, great, economy is 5, but they didn't have to take any risks.
Yeah.
And I just thought to him, they might have just brought 1 or 2 fielders up to say, go on, try and whack him over the top.
Yeah, you've seen a few IPL games when you have couple of slips and, maybe a leg slip. And,
Yeah, we've had
get
forward
those-
short legs. We've had forward
Yeah,
short
just build that pressure somehow. So, yeah, maybe after 23 for 5, they, like most other people, went into snooze mode and said, now let's just, cross the T's and dot the I's. But this 130, as Michael is saying, can be a little dodgy. But for these batters, in this form, when you look at that batting lineup, Shubman Gill coming into it as, this is my Pathan dance move. Impact sub, Shubman will come in here with Ridhiman Saha, which is all the batters being in form. Yeah, in principle, 130 can be sometimes dodgy, but on this surface for this team,
No, I don't think so. They'll bring in the third spinner. They'll just try because I don't think they have really the fast bowling resources outside right now.
yeah.
I mean, Ishant will come in, he'll do something with the new ball. But there again, if you look at it, they've gone for a comparatively, I mean, the only other person who you could look at coming in.
Who's
is
Delhi
Khalil.
getting in? They already have Ishant in the team, right?
Yeah, so the Khalil is their likely
Yeah,
choice.
so I think Khalil perhaps comes in there.
Yeah. Khalil or Lalit, you would think Khalil.
Yeah, as a bowler, of course, you get Khalil in. And here it's pretty simple. You get Shubman Gill,
That's his
who'll come in
swap, yeah.
and open the batting here. So, what do you think, Michael? I understand. In principle, it can sometimes be dodgy.
I think it'll be a stroll in the park.
It will, right?
Yeah. I just think that the pitch looks like it's playing nicely. Ishant might cause a couple of problems up front because he might get the ball to nip back, but they're a good team. They're in great form. There's none of the players that we're looking at out of form. Last night when you saw Lucknow try and chase down that lowest total, you looked at a few of their players and they have been a little bit iffy in terms of form, and the pitch was a poor one. I haven't seen a ball scoot along the floor. I haven't seen a ball really rag square. It's just doing a little bit. I think they'll, if they don't chase it down comfortably, I will be amazed.
Yeah, that was Ghazita. This one is a Poara, right? It's just...
Yeah, and one of the dangers of creating...
It's a fluffy Batura. Easy.
Fluffy Batura, I love it. But one of the dangers of preparing pitches like the pitches Lucknow made at home is your batsmen tend to lose confidence because they don't get runs. And it may suit your bowlers, but your batsmen lose confidence. And then that goes out. In 3 matches, you haven't got runs and you go out and you play in a featherbed of a pitch. But in your head, it's like, I haven't got runs recently. So those things happen.
It's what, I love what Michael said last week, where he said when you watch, like for example, you're in the dugout, you watch a player like Joss Butler struggling, and everybody else goes, he's struggling. What am I going to do?
Yeah, and it's true though. When your best players are out there struggling, they're all good players playing in the IPL, but there's some that are a little bit lesser. And if you see the top players in the world struggling, you're like, well, what about me? What about my little body's going to go out there and face the willow towards that white ball? But I haven't seen anything on that. I mean, Shami's an exception.
Yeah.
He's almost done what Jaiswal did for Rajasthan. The standout in terms of bowling. Jaiswal was the run getter for Rajasthan, and no one else got anything really.
Yeah.
And that was very similar to the bowling. Some good economies, but when you see one standout bowler, if there's 3 or 4, you think, it's a tricky wicket. But just one standout world-class performer bowled brilliantly on that surface. The rest, it looked quite nice to face.
Let's have a look at the Delhi team real quick and see what their bowling options are. There's, of course, Kuldeep Yadav there. There's Ishant Sharma. There's Anrik Nokia.
Sir Patel.
Bring it, come on. Don't be shy. Delhi team, come on. Yeah, well, there you go. So their bowlers, you have Ishant Sharma, Anrik Nokia, Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel. They, of course, will get in Khalil now. But, they've been expensive. Right, Joy?
Yeah.
They've been expensive. Obviously, with only 4 points till now. That's right, they've got 4, right? Yeah. So the 2 wins. You don't obviously enter the ground with confidence to defend this.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they have to try and do the running as whenever in a situation like this. So what do? You get Nokia in, you get Ishant in. You might sneak in a couple of overs from Akshar saying that, let me try something different.
You've got to attack. There's no other way, right? You're not defending this total.
I think Warner will attack with his fields.
Yeah.
He'll know that, if you look now back down to the 19th, 20th over, you think they're going to win the game. So you as a captain and Warner, I'm pretty sure, he'll go, right, we've got to bowl them out. So what may he do? He might bring a mid-off up to the spinners or a mid-on and say, go on, head over the top. It's the only way they're going to get wickets. And they might start with 2 or 3 slips. Going for the juggler early on, get a few wickets, get ahead of the game. And
I'd like to see.
Well, it's the only way they're going to win the game by, at the end of the power play, if Lucknow are 45...
No, Gujarat.
Sorry, Gujarat. Gujarat, 45 for 1, they win the game. So Delhi have to have this mindset of going out there thinking, can we get them 40 for 3? Get off 35, 40 for 3. If we get them in that position, you never know, you can win the game.
That leads me to my question. What's your power play guess then? What's the score in the power play?
I think they'll come out flying. 52.
All right.
I was about to go 52, so I'll just go 57.
Go low. Give them a chance.
Who, give Delhi a chance?
Yeah, give them a chance.
Okay, great. I'll give Delhi a chance. Gujarat is doing well. They don't need any help from anybody else. So I'll go 44. Actually, 44 is kind of a nothing, but yeah, all right. I'll go 44. That's it. So 44, 52,
52.
57.
57.
We've got a lot covered.
We've got, yeah, but that's all we care about. Do you think we care who wins, who loses, who gets those 2 points? No. Competition is amongst us. We all try to sneak into the joy factor question, try to become the answer. And one of us three did succeed today. I've said too much. We have to go now. We'll see you on the Cricbuzz Combox. Or will we? just flighting one up there before we leave. Thank you for watching Cricbuzz Live. We will be back really soon, is what I predict. Thanks for watching.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
हैदराबाद को 50 एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें